All right, let's see. Okay, it looks like we are live. All right, it looks like we are live and we are so excited. So we have a few minutes. We're going to jump on here and this is Sunday service with the Morrisons. My name is Tammy Morrison. This is my husband David Morrison, and we are here to just share some wisdom and some things that we want to share out into the world because the world needs love. And so we're going to talk a little bit about longevity. I'm going to share a Bible verse, Genesis 6:3. And the Lord said, my spirit shall not always strive with man, for that he also is flesh. Yet his days shall be 120 years. So that's already something that, that's a verse that we've been given um, for longevity. So, baby, what you want to say about that?
Well, 120 years it sounds like forever to some people, especially when you're very young. However, 120 years is really what we should do as a basic. Meaning, me and Tammy both roots are embedded from the South. Even though where I grew up at, I represent Brooklyn. You tell me where you represent. Tell us where you're watching it from and where you're at. Um, that said, I come from a generation mainly of longevity in the women's side. The great grandmother leaving when I was a very young child, was born in the mid 1800s, lived to 110. Um, both my grandmothers, one born in the 1880s, one born in the 1890s, one left in the 80s and one 1980s, and one left in the like early 2000s. If I have any family here, they'll correct me whether I'm right or wrong when I say 2001, 2002. Um, that said, we're actually on a mission. We haven't went vegan. We respect everybody that do go vegan, but we've cut back on flesh, and we do a lot of seafood, fish. We don't do a lot of bottom feeder, but we love it. Don't get me wrong. Because of the higher cholesterol rate, and we we juice a little bit, and we keep pureed stuff that we even buy, and fruit, vegetables, and we actually exercise, not intense, but we exercise almost every day of the week or weekend. And sometimes it's just walking or whatever, but we just try to stay active.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like every little thing you can do to to uh, to go longer on this earth, you go ahead and do it. We both talking about yoga. I see my man Chuck D represent yoga, ballet type stuff. I said if he could do it, I could do it.
So, what do
Even
you mean by a bottom feeder?
bottom feeder, uh, your shrimp, your lobster, your oyster, your clam, all that delicious meat that the Old Testament book recommends staying away from, because back then, if you got a bad oyster or clam, it could have took you out, because this is what they do. They clean the ocean. Uh, I had a bad experience with my baby girl when she was about 3 years old. This is my oldest daughter, and I was the sous chef, the connoisseur, and everything of the family. So I would be in the kitchen because I have roots in the culinary arts from Johnson Wells University. And and one day she was standing next to me. I would always have a stool next to me as a helper when she was 3 years old. So she said, "Daddy, what is that?" And I said, "Sea roaches." And I was a Navy guy, active duty at the time, and I just got off active. But anyway, military, you guys out there, women, you know, military, we kind of raw. We're not always
Politically correct.
I didn't want to say that because my job demands that we be politically correct. So I am politically correct now, but back then I don't think I was. That said, my daughter asked me that what is that? And I remember her telling her sea roaches because they clean it, they clean the ocean, they clean the sea, clean the lake. And she never seen a roach before, so I had to explain that part. And after I explained it, this girl grew up, and I was shocked when she didn't certain seafood she would not touch. So that said, that's a whole nother story.
I was gonna say, and that also is an example of a limiting belief.
Yeah, you have to be careful what you put into children.
Yeah,
but that's a whole nother subject. And if my daughter ever see this, I still love you, and hopefully you forgave me for that. I looked at that as humor then, but it's not really humor.
It was probably traumatizing.
Yeah. But that said, so we do the black seed oil. Oils. One of our friends told us, "Yeah, you want to rinse your body out with oil." I mean, he went extreme, and but we do almost all the oils: the coconut, the sunflower, the besides the black seed, the olive oil, and we're consistent on that, and we go a lot of natural stuff, and
try to do more fruits and
right,
vegetables, and
right, and but we believe in enjoying life. We have a few friends that say, "Oh, I cut meat out my diet, or I did this." Hey, much respect for you, but we always look at each other and kind of disbelieve because we say, "Wow, we just enjoyed a steak with them like a few months ago, and how are they gonna survive?" Because when you have friends, you want to see them happy, and a few of our friends that crossed over to that world, they never came back to happiness. But we want to see everybody happy, so we say, do everything just like the word said. Practice everything in moderation, and that's what we try to do now. We talk to our doctors, and we've been on board with this for a long time because Tammy comes from a generation of healers and people in the medical field, and she's with me. She's on board with the fact that when we talk to a doctor, doctor say, "Hey, this medication you have to take."
Exactly.
And some doctors be like, when we say, "Well, how long you want us to take this medication?" And they look at us and like it's forever, basically. And when we said no, we need a time limit or something, and we had to in the past get rid of one doctor and start with a new doctor because they didn't believe in any kind of healing except through pills. They didn't believe in nothing modern, nothing from the earth, and
right.
nothing that we've practiced. We keep even a container of like a half a gallon or so of lemon juice and water on the counter with that with the that was a disruption because I'm heading out to work in a few. With lemon juice, water, and aloe vera, ginger, and liquid silver. when people hear silver, they say, "Oh man, is that stuff that be in a thermometer?" No, it's different. It's not
Yes.
poison. We 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 have the black. Well, I'm getting deep. I'm getting deep. But we do a lot of stuff. We put that in our teas and stuff like that, and
Yeah.
we do teas. My older sister, shout out to Carol. She I don't have to worry about her responding because my older sister Carol is not a tech tech person, so I wish she was, because that's a whole nother story. We have a few friends. They don't do social media because the government will get your information. And I've had military buddies and everything. I say, dude, you've been in the military most of your life. The government have that, relax and just enjoy life. They got everything they need on us, unless we were born without a social security number. And in America, you was born with a social security number, so just get on board. Don't get left behind.
Exactly.
Because this is something,
it's not going away.
Right. When I was a kid, a guy named Captain Kirk. Some of you know about him from the Starship Enterprise. He introduced everybody to the flip phone, and some people didn't get aboard. But I knew as a kid that the communicator was the future flip phone. I actually would bring pictures and stuff home from school to show my parents how someday people are going to be able to talk on this piece of equipment without no wire. So I knew it. I knew Captain Kirk was my boy, and I had to tell my kids in the what's the book that says nothing new under the sun? Chronicles, the book of Chronicles. There's nothing new under the sun. No, not nothing. Because I had to tell my son at one point, the communicators and Bluetooth was invented when I was a kid. I said it was only on the Starship Enterprise. I don't know if you remember. The Bluetooth was, beam me up, Scotty.
Thank you.
But the thing is, that said, whatever we can do, and being happy is a number one. We joke about a lot of stuff. We laugh. Some we even have family members I won't mention, not put them on the spot, that don't understand our happiness, and sometimes they don't have to share the sense of humor. And we keep a distance from people that are too serious in life, because we enjoy life and we don't take life too serious. And I feel that that's some of the things that help us. Right now, I'm in a position where I work mainly to give back. I have my Navy retirement. I have a few things going with the Teamsters from back east, where I was what do you call that when you're in for a few years and then you have your
pension?
Yeah, you have your pension, but my mind went somewhere else. But you're vested.
Yeah.
So I got vested. Things coming, but these are residual incomes that I never have to worry about. Certain monies coming in. When we were down in South Carolina and Georgia a few weeks ago, we met some of my family down there, and one of the older gentlemen, I was trying to get to do the VA thing, and he kept talking about how he had residual income from being vested and being retired military and all this other stuff. But I was telling him that that's a whole nother thing. Being tied in with the VA is just another avenue you want to look at. But that said, it's good to be at this point in life, to be at the age where you you have enough funding to go through life, to continue life by working or by not, to be at the age where you can give back,
Mm-hmm.
it's just a blessing in itself. And what you have to bring on before we wrap in a few minutes.
Nah, I just, this conversation is always riveting. We always have, no, we're not doing that right now because David is about to get up. But we just wanted to just come on and talk a little bit about, longevity is what we were talking about. And how actually to stay, um, at a place where you are looking at longevity. You're looking at whether you're going to, you know, helping yourself to live and live well, a long time, because David and I, we've been married almost 7 years in this life, is what I say. But I, have commissioned him to, he's got to at least do 20 years with me because I can't have 20 years with the one that wasn't for me and not have 20 years with the one that is for me. So, so that's just, I call it asked and answered. So we already have covered that, and that's where we are. And so we are just really doing our best to, live our best life, and then also to share it with all of you so that you can begin to really think about that. Because I know a lot of people really don't consider and think about the fact that, that you want to live a long life. But not only do you want to live a long life, you want to live it well. You don't want to be in a home. You don't want to any of that kind of stuff. You don't want to live it and be sick or anything like that. You want to live a long, lovely life. So that's something that we definitely have been talking about, and we wanted to come on and just share it with all of you because we know that that is a thing that sometimes people don't think about until it's too late. They don't even consider that, you don't have to go vegan, but you can start eating better, because that's the thing. I hear people talk about that all the time. And for me, I like meat. And God said we could eat whatever we wanted to. I believe in that. However, I do believe in everything in moderation. You do want to, not eat all starches and stuff like that. You want to eat vegetables. You want to do everything in accordance to, how it fits and works for your body as well. Because that's one thing that I know that a lot of people, they jump on this vegan bandwagon, but then they're not healthy because they're not getting the things that they need. Some of the stuff that you get from the animals, some of the protein and stuff that you get from eating meat. A lot of times people don't get that because they go vegan, and then they just eat pasta or something like that. And that's not healthy for you. It's not healthy. It's actually, if you continue to do that, it's going to kill you quick. So anyway, but that's something that I wanted to just bring out, and just thank everybody for joining us. As we wrap up and close down, we will definitely be back on again next Sunday for Sunday service. David, you want to take us home?
The gentleman whose book I read when I was a teenager, he was a runner. He was into fasting and what have you, and that is something that really helped us. No, the activist that was into fasting.
Dick Gregory?
Dick Gregory. He overdid it at the time, and he'll tell you at the well, he would tell you in his books and through some of his videos when he was here on Earth that he overdid it. He would fast and run for miles. I won't get into the graphic part of it with some graphic things there, but he was a good person to really follow to understand how to get your body right, how fasting and eating a certain way, and he did it through trials and error. But it's a lot of people that paved the way for us to live a long, prosperous life and a healthy life.
Yeah.
Tammy, I'm I was disappointed to hear her say at least 20 years. I was thinking further. She's one of those people that, I feel like in the heavens.
I said at least.
At least. Okay. She's off the hook. She's one of those people, when I do go to heaven, I know I'm going to look for, if she's not really there, I'm going to just look for, make sure. But that said, she's a miracle in anybody's life. If you're fortunate enough to be a part of Tammy's life, like I am, even through her books, her knowledge, wisdom, and understanding that she put out there in her groups and social media. She's on Spotify and all these other places. Uh, um, and we travel. So if she meets you and she signs a book or break bread with you or whatever, you're very fortunate to have her in your life. She's definitely a healer. She showed me that in my life, and she's just an amazing person, and you and I or whoever is very fortunate to have her in your life in any kind of way. And that said, that's all I really have time to say, because I really do have to step up and step out. It's good to see you.
Thank you.
Represent. Let us know where you're at, where you're representing from. Like I say, Georgia and New York here, and wherever else you had by way of outside Seattle. So
everywhere.
Yeah, and and the last thing I listened to that Chuck D and his wife put out. He's one of my young heroes. I call him young because he's younger than me. But the thing is, he say the world is open to us. The world is our place.
Mm-hmm.
So that said, no borders should stop us from traveling and being able to meet people of the world. Don't
Yes.
listen to anybody who say this world country or this world country. The world is a small place. So
yeah, that Chuck D.
We shouldn't have borders, if you know what I'm saying. We shouldn't have borders to control us where we can travel in and out of.
Yeah.
And your mind needs to go further than that. Your mind, get your passport, do everything legal and what have you. But get out there in the world, because the world is open to us now, and
it's our oyster.
And it's so much it's so much to learn from people from all over the world.
Yeah.
And it's so much love.
Yes, that is the one thing, because y'all know that one of the things that I love to speak on is love, because I believe that all we need is love. I really do believe that. A lot of people say it and a lot of people kind of preach it and speak it, but I really believe that. I believe that if we would just love one another, love is the answer. I was actually playing that song this week because it just hit me so hard. It's like love is the answer. So again, thank y'all for hanging out with us. Thank y'all for joining us on Sunday service with the Morrisons. We are David and Tammy Morrison, and we love to do this. So if you have any questions or anything that you want us to talk about, you can either put it in, you can send us a message, or you can put it in the chat. Not on TikTok, because I don't think you can go get that. But you can find us we're actually streaming right now on YouTube as well as Facebook. So you can find us on any of those places and send us a message and let us know if there's a topic that you want us to discuss, because we're open to that, because we are here to be of service. So again, thank you so much for hanging out with us. And if you want to get a session with me, a healing session with me, send me a message as well. And you can get on my calendar and we can talk about it and see what it is that you need and how I can help you. So again, Thank you so much for joining us. We really appreciate, all of you joining us. We appreciate the likes and the hearts and the loves and all the things. But like I said, we'll be back on again next Sunday. Probably same bad times station.
I don't know. But love makes the world go around. God is love, and love is God.
Yeah,
And show
God
love to
is
each other.
you. And God
Right.
is you. So again, thank you. Have a good evening. Bye now.
Perfect time. I hope I don't have to go to